So you're a beginner artist looking through art tutorials on YouTube, TikTok, whatever, and you come across Koleen. After watching a video, you think, oh, I could definitely do drawing now. You try it and what is this? I can't draw. Before I start this video, I just want to say that I'm not making this video to spread hate to her or to have any malintention towards her. I'm just making this video because I wanted to point out some of her shortcomings, should we say, and to share some other teachers, whatever, in this platform in YouTube as an alternative, because I don't think that Koleen is a good person to watch when you're just a beginner artist. So who is Koleen? Koleen is a Filipino artist who gained popularity through her controversial art tutorials or her roasting videos. You might have already seen her in some shorts videos or in your For You page, but her bread and butter, in a way, is roasting people's art. Her most popular video is Never Draw Eyes This Way, which is an art tutorial in which she gives some tips to draw eyes. Honestly, after watching the video, the only impression I got was it's giving nothing. She doesn't really give any details about the form of the eye. The only notable thing that she tells you about the form is that it's a ramen bowl. Now, I was really afraid of making this video because Koleen is a Filipino and Filipinos go crazy. I would know because I am a Filipino too. So please, wag niyo akong awayin kasi gusto ko lang tong pag-usapan. I'm not trying to start drama. Thank you. If you watch any of her art tutorials and already have some experience in drawing, then you'll notice how shallow they are. To give her some benefit of the doubt, maybe some beginner artists find some value in her tutorials, but ultimately, I think that because of how shallow her tutorials are, beginner artists don't really get to learn much, in my opinion. Now, the video that made me actually want to write this script was from Rin, where she talks about how Koleen's older tutorials were outright racist. Go watch her video right now because most of the stuff that I'm saying is what she already said and what the people who commented on her video has already said. So here are some comments that I would like to highlight. One commenter said, "As a black artist that looks like a gorilla MF," which if you watch the video, you'll understand what she's talking about, and is a little insecure about it, hurts me. It's perfectly fine not to draw darker skinned people when you're doing art for yourself. However, when you're teaching like Koleen, is that when you absolutely have to be multifaceted. That's when it's harmful to young artists as well as black or brown people. Shame on her for teaching this and pushing that our features are not worthy of drawing. I'm a little disappointed to say the least. Again, I want this to be known. No one is forcing her to draw darker skinned people at all. I never said that she has to draw people like me, and that's perfectly fine if she does. This is just an observation on how this could potentially be harmful to younger artists. I want to give my perspective as a Filipino, because Koleen is Filipino. People who defend her, I assume to be international fans, may say she does draw POC, aka Asian people, because she's Asian herself. However, colorism is very prevalent in the Philippines and much of Southeast Asia. Koleen mostly draws characters with Eurocentric and East Asian features, and EA culture has been idolized in the Philippines for a very long time. Thus, their beauty standards have influenced PH beauty standards as well, while our own native features are put down, which is why I find it harmful when she says that she doesn't draw ugly people, and I have not seen her draw any Filipino characters, apart from a couple of fan art of people who do fit the beauty standards, and just darker skinned people in general. Next commenter says, "As a black person, I can say it's not ignorance, it's racism. I already thought her art was generic, Eurocentric, and just plain wrong, but her charisma made me feel like her videos were that alone. But after that, I'm deeply disappointed and sick. I'm a black illustrator, and to say that such an illustration has a gorilla face is extremely offensive." Like I said, you should watch Rin's video to get a full grasp of what these commenters are saying, but I'm gonna explore Koleen's videos myself because I have a lot of time and I just want to see what it's about. Other than her eye tutorial videos, she also does these art roast videos in which she redraws the person's art. Okay, weird, but she does specify that in her second art roast video.
I started off with a very pathetic.
Okay, she changed the whole art style. Well, in the beginning, she does say that she's just drawing it in her style, but like you can't say that. You can't say this.
Right there, add a bunch of shadows, and then I added the feather thingies from the reference. Anyway, let's do a quick before and after real quick. If we're gonna silhouette is almost the exact same. Like, I didn't change the silhouette at all. The nose and lips are also at the same places. If we're gonna completely ignore the change of color, the biggest change I did was the eyes. Like, literally, the eyes make or break your art.
I'm gonna keep watching. I'm gonna shut up and just keep watching. Okay, after watching what feels like 3 hours worth of content, probably just an hour worth, I honestly can't say that her tutorials have any sort of value. I get it, her channel revolves around art and comedy and the sort of bullying the viewer kind of aspect, which is, I assume, one of the reasons for her popularity. But in a lot of her videos, she tells you that she's a clout chaser. And while that isn't a problem in itself, because who isn't? The problem is that her tutorials lack any substance. And what I mean is that she doesn't really understand what she's talking about in the first place. For example, let's compare her eye tutorial video to Cynic's Design's Anatomy Quick Tips eye tutorial. In Koleen's video, she breaks down the eye into a parallelogram and a ramen bowl, which isn't really exactly a good rule of thumb. I mean, sure, if it's a general rule of thumb, it's not a very good one. Why? Because you're losing a lot of the form in the eye, which gives it a lot of dimension. In Cynic's video, he breaks down the eye into their respective parts and also explains how they show up in different perspectives. You can make the argument that it is a stylistic choice. And yes, both artists have vastly different art styles, but both make art tutorials. And if you're making an art tutorial, you should at least have a gist on the fundamentals, because you're sharing this knowledge with a majority of younger beginner artists. After watching this video and you're looking for another person to watch for art tutorials, specifically digital art tutorials or maybe traditional art, then I'm gonna give you some suggestions, but my suggestions are mostly from digital art people. If you're a beginner and want a more anime art style, then I highly suggest watching TPPO. Tipo. Yeah, you get it. Yeah, however way you pronounce it. They analyzed professional, mostly Japanese artists and break down their art process into comprehensible steps, the techniques they use, and you know, their videos are just really fun to watch because of how well made they are. If you want a more realistic style, then Proco is a really good channel to start watching. They go over all the fundamentals of art. They have anatomy tutorials, they have tutorials on how to start comics, and you know, they pretty much have everything you could think of. In fact, I started watching them when I first started getting into art. Cynic's Design gives really comprehensible anatomy tutorials and uses a wide variety of references. And though his videos are short, I mean, the longest anatomy video that he has is 25 minutes long, which is the eye tutorial video. They have a lot of depth and you can tell that he knows what he's talking about. You get a lot of value from a 9-minute video, for example, going over how to draw hips. Really good videos. Love Cynic's Design. Lastly, Mark Burnett. He releases art challenges every now and then, and his most popular one is Learn to Draw in 30 Days. So you can really challenge yourself to stay consistent. Not only that, he also has a playlist dedicated to beginner artists. My point is, there are so many different ways to learn digital art, and people have so many different methods and processes to do their art. Is Koleen a bad person for giving shallow and somewhat racist advice to beginners? Yeah, probably. As an artist who provides art tutorials, and one who gained popularity through them, it's imperative that she recognizes she taught the wrong thing and address it. One art style is not more superior than the other, and that seems to be the message that she's spreading, albeit indirectly, but still spreading it nonetheless. Again, I would like to reiterate that I don't want you guys to spread any hate to her or think that because you watch this video it gives you some right to send her hate. That is not my intention. My intention was to bring light to the accusations and to hold her accountable to it, and also to give you some alternatives, because she is not a good teacher. She's an artist for sure, and you can be a good artist, but that doesn't mean you're a good teacher. To be a good teacher, you need to understand the fundamentals like the back of your hand. And I just want to say, Koleen doesn't know. She does not understand the fundamentals, okay? So please, if you're watching her for art tutorials, don't. They don't provide anything valuable to you as a beginner artist, as an intermediate artist, whatever. Anyways, fuck it, I'm done.